Yes, good evening, everybody. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you. We're here for the evening's transfer news rundown, Manchester United news, latest goings on. It's what we do around here. How are you doing, everybody? Thank you very much for joining us for the live stream, late night, 10 p.m. Get in there, you legends. How you doing? Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Do us a favour at the start of this stream and smash that like button. Give us a massive like spike at the start. Feel free to share us around wherever you can. That helps us out. You can repost us on X. The link is pinned at the top of the live chat there somewhere. Give us a little share and we will shout you out later on in the show. Oh, yes. And, of course, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're new and get yourself involved in the live chat where we're going to be dipping in and out, see what you guys are saying. And also we'll have a big Q&A at the end of this stream. So we're here to discuss the latest transfer news. We got lots of stuff in regards to Gyökeres to discuss, the Mbeumo latest in regards to the delay and when that could potentially be announced, etc. Ingoings, outgoings, all sorts of stuff we're going to be covering in this stream. And of course, looking at any breaking news that may come out during the show. Yes, the window does shut tomorrow, not midnight. I think it's 7 p.m. actually, British time. GMT or BST. Let me just double check that once again here, lad. But yeah, no, it's pretty sure it's 7 o'clock. So on the BBC it says the first summer transfer window of 2025 will close on Tuesday, the 10th of June at 7 p.m. BST. So we'll probably do a cheeky little rundown show for the last hour of the transfer window from 6 p.m. to 7. See what goes on. That's if we haven't announced anything just yet, because surely we'll be trying to get it in there before then. It says the summer has been split into 2 windows this year, with the first having opened on Sunday, the 1st of June. The early window allowed teams that are participating in the Club World Cup the chance to sign players before the tournament begins on the 15th of June. The second window will open on Monday, the 16th of June, before closing on Monday, the 1st of September at 7 p.m. BST for Premier League, EFL and Scottish Premiership clubs. So that is the setup there, and obviously we're expected to be trying to get this Mbeumo deal done before then. Look, we were hoping it was going to be today in regards to Mbeumo. It's quite frustrating that it's not done yet. Still holding out some hope that there'll be a cheeky little here we go tonight during this live stream. That's what I'm holding out hope. But if not, then it should well be done tomorrow. There are some delays in regards to that. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but we've got some news in regards to Gyökeres to discuss first. Go on, Jamie. Love that. Jamie Robinson says Gyökeres is Manchester United bound. Well, let's get into it and have a look at some of the stuff that has been coming out in the last few hours about Gyökeres. So Fabrizio Romano tweeted out an hour or two ago saying that United keep calling on a daily basis for Viktor Gyökeres, still on their list. Juventus and Al Hilal have also called in the last 48 hours to be informed on the situation, after Arsenal contacts ongoing since May, but with Sesko advancing. Do you know what? I'm getting really pissed off with Saudi Pro League, the Saudi Pro League. I'm getting pissed off. Why is every single player in the entire world constantly linked with Saudi clubs? It's doing my head in. Goodness me. They're just trying to buy everything, aren't they? Just trying to buy football now, trying to buy golf, trying to buy football. Fuck's going on? Come on. But anyway, it's like it's not going to go to Saudi Arabia, is he? They'd have to field an insane bid in order to get him in there. But the latest situation with Gyökeres, we are in contact with Gyökeres. This report from Fab says that we're calling on a daily basis to find out about the situation. Ben Jacobs reports that Viktor Gyökeres is a player on Manchester United's list and Gyökeres is open to moving even without Champions League football. This is from an hour ago. Man United are assessing multiple striker options after missing out on Liam Delap. Gyökeres has several suitors, including Saudi, although it's believed he wants to stay in Europe. Sporting don't have any formal bids yet, but are expected to sell for around 70 million euros. Again, obviously, it depends on the how much money Sporting are really prepared to let him go for. So there's some reports that it could be around about £55 million. That is the known figure that would allow him to move on and leave Sporting. But ultimately, there is interest. They do know that Manchester United are desperate for this striker, so they could squeeze a bit more than that out of us, I'm pretty sure, can't they? But yes, and also Sky Sports reporting, Chef Sharma just reported earlier on that we already said this yesterday, to be fair, in regards to contacts, but Manchester United have made an initial approach for Sporting striker Viktor Gyökeres through intermediaries. United are exploring the conditions of a potential deal with Ruben Amorim, a big admirer of Gyökeres. So, obviously, Sky Sports is all right, but A little bit sus if you ask me. But anyway, Sky Sports, they're reporting that we've obviously made an initial approach for Sporting striker Viktor Gyokeres. All positive stories coming out this evening in regards to Victor, apart from clearly the fact that there are other clubs that are still interested in him. The Saudi Pro League beckons for someone who's prepared to go over there just for the cash. I don't see him wanting to do that. All of the the top journalists are all saying that he's open to joining Manchester United regardless of UCL, and obviously he wants to stay in Europe as well. So for a player who is doing what he's doing, scoring lots of goals, he's playing for Sporting, playing Champions League. That's a massive draw, isn't it, the Champions League? Man United don't have that right now, but in the future we can. If he's not going to ever play in the Champions League if he goes to the Saudi Pro League. So there you go. That's the difference, really. It's we want players, obviously, for the legacy. We want players who want to come in for the legacy, not the money. But I don't think he's going to Saudi, guys. That's just a pretty crazy link. Every player's linked with Saudi Arabia at the moment. It's just the way it is because they are chucking so much money around. But rather than the likes of Gyökeres, I hope that there's a team out there for Jadon Sancho over in Saudi Arabia. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, so it's looking like we are in contacts regularly with Viktor Gyokeres. We know that Ruben Amorim is a big admirer, having worked with him previously. He'd kind of be the perfect striker for Ruben Amorim's current system and what he's trying to do, because obviously he was very successful in the system previously under Ruben Amorim at Sporting. So for that reason, obviously Ruben's prioritised him as our main striker. We might have been interested in Liam Delap earlier on, right? So, obviously we missed out on Liam Delap to Chelsea, but I don't think Liam Delap was going to be our main signing at striker, personally. I think he would have been an addition to the side. Maybe you can say that's crazy, but it's just 30 million, homegrown player, relegated team, 12 goals last season, good prospect, but not exactly ready. It's almost like an English Rasmus Højlund to a lesser degree, obviously better than Rasmus. So I don't think that was just a chance thing for us. Gyökeres has always been Ruben Amorim's main, coveted striker that he'd like to bring in because of the previous working relationship, etc. So, yeah, that is going to be his priority. We know Ruben has that pull as well because he's obviously worked with the guy, so that's going to help the situation. Maybe Ruben Amorim may just be the guy to take it over the line for Manchester United. Without Ruben, with no UCL football, very unlikely he would come. Still, with no UCL football and where we finished, even with Ruben, let's face it, it's still pretty unlikely he's going to come. The reason I say that is because it's early in the transfer window, right? It's not even really got going yet. It's just like a pre-Club World Cup little transfer window. But obviously clubs are signing players. It's early in the transfer window. There will be other teams interested in Viktor Gyokeres. This is the reality. We may have made approaches. We may have made contacts. We may be in contact with the player. Ruben Amorim may be sending him a fruit basket every single morning. Trying to convince him to come, and obviously having conversations behind closed doors, whatever. That may well be going on. But still, the likeliness is that there's going to be another big club that comes in for him. We're hearing Juventus. We're hearing Saudi clubs, Saudi clubs. Personally, I think we've got a good chance of signing him. But if there is a big club, Barca or something like that ends up deciding that they want him, who knows, that he might go there. But I don't think we're going to lose out on him to the likes of Juventus or the likes of Saudi Arabia. If that's all the offers that are on the table, surely he chooses Manchester United, the biggest club in England and one of the biggest clubs in the world. Surely, even still now, with our cash situation and our cash owners and finishing 15th. So I think it's pretty, his mind would be made up for him if those are the offers on the table, in my opinion. But if there is a Barca, or if there is maybe an Arsenal that go in for him, that situation can change. And in regards to the situation there with Sesko, there's been another update just before this stream went live, actually, in regards to Sesko. So Fabrizio also said, Saudi Pro League clubs have approached Benjamin Sesko in recent hours with important proposals. Stop it, Saudi! Please stop it! I don't know why I'm looking over there. Is that the right direction? I don't know. I don't have a good human compass. But either way, approached Benjamin Sesko in recent hours with important proposals. Understand Sesko's priority is to continue in Europe at this stage, with talks to follow in the next days. So that would be horrendous, obviously, if they didn't manage to poach Sesko, because then that means that Arsenal probably turn their attentions to Gyökeres. But again, only the absolute complete melter mercenaries of men would want to go to Saudi Arabia to play their football over a top European side right now. even if it means they're going to earn double the amount tax-free. Because, no disrespect, but it's like in 10 years, 20 years, maybe the Saudi League's going to be the best league in the world. Maybe it will be. The accolades will be there then, won't they? But they're not there now because it's just not that stronger of a league compared to the Prem, La Liga, Serie A, all these sorts of leagues that have that rich history as well. So from a player's point of view, nobody wants to go and play in Saudi. The only reason you go there is for cash. That's the only reason. Even Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo himself couldn't turn down the ridiculous cash that was being flung around for him over there at Al Nassr. He's not going to get that cash anywhere else, even though he's the biggest name in world football. So there you go. That tells you everything, really. The Saudis can pay the best out of anyone. And you know why they can pay the best out of anyone? Well, many reasons, but also because there's no tax if they stay for 2 years. Imagine not paying tax, guys. Goodness me, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Crikey, just imagine not paying tax. And these footballers who actually get paid 300k a week in England, they're getting taxed 150k a week in England. So they're taking home a paltry, measly 150,000 a week, you know? It's not on, is it? So there are reasons to join the Saudi team, but the only reasons are money. By the way, we've got 250 legends in it and 100 likes already on the stream. Get in there, the Bacon Brigade. Thank you to this legendary community of legends. If you're just joining us, keep hitting the thumbs up button. That helps the stream out and it's free, so give us a like. Smash that subscribe button if you're in here for the first time. Get involved in the chat, have your say. And just thank you, everyone, for tuning in, you bunch of legends. Of course, we are going to have a big Q&A at the end there. But anyway, Sesko being worked on by Arsenal. They're still in discussions. They're reportedly going to have another round of negotiations soon. Arsenal haven't turned their attentions anywhere else yet. There's understanding that they do have an interest in Gyökeres, but Sesko's their priority, obviously. If they can't get that deal done, then I guess they would move on. So it's a concern. And also, if Saudi or a different team came in and pinched Sesko, then that also increases the likelihood that they might go in for him. But again, not too worried about this because it seems Arsenal are going to get him. You know, Arteta's made up his mind. He's got his mind set on getting Benjamin Sesko in, and they'll probably be able to pull that deal off, won't they? They're talking about a lot of money as well. So it's not really too much of a concern, obviously, in regards to Sesko being hijacked or anything like that, and then that affecting Gyökeres. More of a concern would be the Gyökeres deal being hijacked, and it wouldn't even be really hijacked because United haven't put in a proper bid yet. You know, we've actually got to put in a bid. Like, that's it. United, what are we doing here? We started well. We've done well so far. You know, the Cunha deal and Mbeumo's nearly over the line. Yada yada yada. But what are we doing here? We desperately need a striker. I feel like Gyökeres is available. Gyökeres is there to be had if you move quickly. He might be, well, assessing his situation, assessing his options, playing it out, playing the waiting game. But ultimately, United can turn his head, and this is our chance to get him in before anybody else sniffs around him too much. So hopefully, guys, we see a bid coming in at some point soon. Maybe in a week or two could happen. Maybe we could see something going on there. Ideally, we'll see a bid tabled very soon and we can start to think about Gyökeres coming to United. But at the moment, it is just initial talks. You know, Fab says that we're calling every single day in regards to Gyökeres. So obviously keeping ourselves, keeping our ear to the ground on the situation there as a club, ready to go in and get him as and when we've got the word. I mean, it could just be as simple as getting a verbal agreement in place, essentially with an X amount of money involved with the transfer fee. So if Sporting wants £70 million and we want to pay 70 million euros, you know, you just have a little cheeky, is this realistic type verbal discussion? And then maybe that's when you start to table a bid, once you actually have got a go-ahead, whether or not it's actually going to be accepted or rejected or whatever. That speeds things up. That can make these deals a little more smooth. We have a good relationship with Sporting, so it's quite possible we could get it done reasonably quickly if Manchester United do put in a bid. We've seen it with Bruno Fernandes, obviously signing him, Ronaldo, Nani, etc. So we can get these players from Sporting, and because of the good relationship, shouldn't take too long before we can actually get the deal wrapped up with them, unless they play silly buggers and try and get more money out of us, which they might do. Who knows? You know, they're not going to let this great player go for nothing. There's a apparent understanding that Gyökeres is not too happy, actually, about the situation of them maybe asking for too much money. I think it's probably bollocks. We'll get into that in a moment. But before I do, Thornster says, F Saudi unless you come for our deadwood. That's it, mate. You know, Saudi should be a place where you can get rid of the deadwood. It should not be, not a retirement ground, but maybe like like Misfits boxing. Well, this is Misfits football. You know what I mean? It's like these guys are just not going to be good enough to play on the main card for the main promotions. Oh no. But some Misfits YouTuber influencer guff boxing where people fight in their bra and panties and YouTubers fight chefs, then, maybe something like that would make a little bit of sense. You're absolutely right, for the dead wood. So like Sancho, for instance, is a perfect example. He could go over there and be one of the Misfits in the league, lad. That makes perfect sense. So can, whoever, lots of other players as well. Thank you so much for your super chat there. I really appreciate you, legend. Let's go. I wanted to mention this, by the way. So there are some reports, as I said, about Gyökeres being unhappy with the situation as it is with Sporting, but I find this personally bullshit. It's from Record in Portugal. Record. Who knows? I mean, it's obviously very early for that. It's not like we've really tabled official bids or anything and then been knocked back and they're asking for 80 million. Okay, these conversations, I guess, might be happening behind the snes, but it's not like Viktor Gyokeres is realistically going to be, furious. I mean, he's on bloody vacation, isn't he? So, you know what I mean? But it's literally been a couple of days for these links. But anyway, so this report says that Gyökeres has been left furious with Sporting as they have been demanding 67 million for him. Previously, Sporting agreed that they would demand 50 million plus 8.4 million in add-ons this summer. He has now removed Sporting's name from his social media bios. Very interesting. So some reports he's removed Sporting from his Instagram and stuff like that, from the bio. All positive signs. He's not added MUFC though, so don't get too carried away just yet. But he has reportedly, anyway, I don't know, I haven't fact-checked this, but he's reportedly removed Sporting's name from his social media bios, which is a big indicator maybe of what's about to happen, i.e. him looking for a new club, him getting a move on the go. £67 million? Apparently he's furious with Sporting as they're asking for that amount of money, so 70 million, near enough 70 million quid, 67 million quid, what's that, 75 towards 80 million euros, is it? Somewhere around there. I mean, it's a lot of money, but you know what? It's not crazy. And you know how these negotiations work. We would want to pay closer to 55 million. They want 70 million. So we end up paying 62.5 million or 65 million. Classic. Like we have done with Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo in these situations. So 67 million, even if it was 67 million, let's get it done. Smash a 1 in the chat if you'd be happy with United signing Viktor Gyokeres from Sporting for £67 million. Smash a 1. I hate to say it, but that's not even that insane of a transfer fee these days. It is. It's very, very high, but it's in keeping with what we're doing in our other transfers. And Mbeumo, Cunha, if you want great players, you've got to pay the money. And obviously they are expensive players because they're good players. That's the reality. And they're all in their primes. That's right. I've seen the social media posts. I've seen the leaked jerseys and stuff. Yeah, Craig. I like the black one. I like the home one. I don't really like the purple one. That shirt looks a bit gash. But there you go. Bargain, I'd say. Exactly, mate. Yep. One. Exactly. 67 million is not crazy for him, really. It would be nice if we could negotiate less and get him for cheaper. But again, you can understand Sporting's stance on it. They're going to try and get as much as they possibly can. This is how negotiations work. You have to, of course, get it thrashed out and meet someone in the middle. So I'm not too worried about it, but I wouldn't be worried about Man United being able to afford to buy this or this player or even going in for him. I'm more worried about somebody else pinching him from us, essentially. Jason Brown. Thank you so much, Jason. How you getting on, Jason? Let's get some love in there for Jason Brown. Thank you for the super chat. He says, we won't get Here We Go on Gyökeres till after the Club World Cup. Totally agree, really, Jason. I agree. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we're not even tabling a bid for him until after that finishes. I wouldn't even be surprised, personally. Because this deal clearly has a lot of legs in order of time to thrash out. There will be plenty of offers, I think, from different clubs for him. He's going to have to think about a lot of things. There will be some competition, I think. It's not just going to be free for us to go and get him. You never know, though. You never know. We could go in quickly and make it happen quickly. You never know, though. But I do think it might take a little bit of time, this particular deal, yeah. Exactly. Frank says, problem is we take too long with negotiations, then it's too late by then. I see what you're saying. But like I just said, go in, pay the money. If that's the figure they want, 67 million, just go in at 65 million. They're not going to say no, are they? And if they do, okay, then we tried our luck. It's the 67 million. get him done, get him in, get it agreed. So because of that, there's a little bit of concern for me that there's other clubs that he's thinking about joining. If they were to come in for him, that's my thoughts on it. So, Barker says, rumour here in Spain is that he's agreed to replace Lewandowski at Barcelona next year, hence why he went back to Sporting for another year. Great comment, Barker, and you can understand why there's some legs behind that rumour. We talked about that in the show earlier, actually, about why maybe Barcelona would want him because of the fact of Lewandowski getting on a bit. We know he's not going, and he's still a great player, Lewandowski, but he is getting on a bit now, and he's not going to be there forever. So that makes a lot of sense. Makes a heck of a lot of sense, that, my friend. But, again, as the situation is as it is, if they wanted him, they might have to move on it now. But they could move on it now, I suppose. But in regards to staying at Sporting, he could stay a whole year at Sporting. They are in the Champions League. He is going to be playing a decent standard, etc. But personally, it's, if you've got an offer on the table from a big European club, why would you want to stay there for another year and then just go to Barca in a year's time? That doesn't really, I don't think that would fill him with much confidence. They'd rather a 37-year-old or whatever he is, Robert Lewandowski, playing up there instead. I mean, it doesn't really fill him with that much confidence, really, does it? So I know what you're saying, and it makes sense, but also I kind of think there's not much basis for him waiting another year, personally. I think if they're going to get him, if they're interested, they'd have to go and get him now. 67 million, get that checkbook out. Yeah, lots of people putting the ones in the chat there. Absolutely. Definitely. It would be not a bad price to pay considering. Yeah, we got some Mbeumo updates there, Frank Lyford, lad. But you're not going to like it, mate. Oh, really, Ryan? Well, that's a positive take. Ryan says it's a done deal already, waiting for the new fiscal year, which starts in July for our books. Well, that's a very positive take. I rate that. Yep. Exactly. Romeo, here we go then. Let's get on to the Mbeumo stuff then. Go on then. So we'll come back to Gyökeres if you want to discuss that. But in regards to Mbeumo, situation as it is it seems there's a delay due to, in my opinion, and what I've seen in terms of research and reports here, just thrashing out a few minor details, guys. It's not the story that people are trying to paint about, like Romeo said here, predicting Mbeumo delays until Spurs bid after Frank is installed around Wednesday. Look, I don't think that's happening. I really just don't think that's the problem. We've got this situation almost sewn up. The player wants to come. He's getting big money. Spurs won't give him the money we're going to give him. He didn't want to stay at Brentford with Thomas Frank. He's coming to Manchester United because it's a massive football club. He was reportedly a fan of Manchester United as a kid. I think he knows the club. I think he likes the idea of playing for United. Spurs, although they did win a Europa final, that's going to be the only thing they win for 2 decades. And ultimately, they'll crash out of the Champions League early, and then they won't be in it again for 5 years. So what's the bloody point of going to Spurs? All because Thomas Frank's there. Oh, yeah, my German friend. No, it's not good enough reason to go to Spurs. And you're saying, well, what about Gyökeres with Amorim? Different. Man United's different. Spurs is Spurs. Remember that. Spurs is the most Spursy of clubs. Anyway, this is from Ben Jacobs. Let me just read this super chat here. Thank you, Welshman Forever. Thank you so much there for the super chat, boyo. Really appreciate you. He says, since we need a goalkeeper, can we get Cinderella? She always gets to the ball. Oh, yeah, but she only plays with one football boot, though, mate. So, a little bit inconsistent. She's like Anthony Dos Santos. She's only got 1 foot, you know what I mean? Hey, get in there, Welshman Forever. Thank you very much for that anyway. I appreciate that. Right, this is what Ben Jacobs said in regards to the Bryan Mbeumo deal, and I tend to agree with this. Obviously, guys, we don't know the inner workings of the situation. It is possible that Thomas Frank wants to try and sign Bryan Mbeumo for Spurs. It is possible Mbeumo could have his head turned if the wages are good, which they don't like to pay, but if they're prepared to, it's possible. It's possible Spurs could spend 62.5 million or somewhere in that region on Mbeumo. I guess it's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. So let's not rule it out. But at the moment, I don't think there's much basis for this Spurs situation. I mean, he's not even through the door yet. Yes, okay, you can have discussions. Yes, okay, you can tell Levy to go and start proceedings. But he's already agreed to join Manchester United, guys. That's the reality. This is what Ben Jacobs said. He said, Bryan Mbeumo has made his preference to join Man United clear and all suitors are aware. Thomas Frank's expected arrival at Spurs could naturally change some transfer targets, but suggestions of a Spurs hijack for Mbeumo are for now premature. Manchester United solely focusing on trying to agree a fee with Brentford. Spurs are looking at a right or central attacker with Tyler Dibbing on their list, but as of now, Manchester United are currently the only side in formal talks with Brentford. Right, so we're the only side in formal talks with Brentford right now. So Thomas Frank, knowing the situation, and Spurs knowing the situation with Man United and Mbeumo, now, are you telling me they would just not have already started actual talks with Brentford if they wanted him? They know he's on the cusp, he's on the verge, he's on the edge of joining Manchester United here. They know that. They can see that. They're not stupid. They're reading the media, they're reading the reports. They know what's going on. Mbeumo to Man United is almost going ahead, right? So if they were going to go in for him, if they were going to try, they'd have already have to have started it, guys. They would literally have to go at least now and try and bring him in to pinch him from us, which they haven't done yet. Maybe they will. It could happen. We're not ruling anything out. But it's not happened. Thomas Frank expected arrival at Spurs could naturally change some transfer targets, but suggestions of a Spurs hijack from Mbeumo are for now premature. There you go. We've just got to fresh out the final fee with Brentford. There's a few little things to finalise, it seems. You know, from the research I've done and from the reports I've read from the top journalists, it does seem like Manchester United are very, very close indeed to getting this deal done with Brentford. And there's a belief that from all parties, players' side, the teams involved here, that this deal is going to get agreed very soon. The only annoying thing is it has been delayed a little bit, and that's probably just down to Brentford playing a little bit of hardball, just trying to get an extra little bit of cash out of Manchester United. Or perhaps it could be down to, let's face it, Manchester United's slight shithousery when it comes to trying to buy players over X amount of period of time in installments, or, you know, all that kind of thing is something that has to be agreed upon. And it's not easy to reach that agreement very quickly. We can reach it, and I'm sure we'll get there. We probably even will get there, like I say, tomorrow, or I would not be surprised if during this show there was an announcement that it's been done. I very much doubt it now. It's late. We've been saying this for 2 days now, so I very much doubt it, but I expect it to be done tomorrow. And if not, I expect it to be on the next day. You know, and even if the window's closing or whatever, I expect these agreements to be in place, because it's not that far away, and they have been negotiating with Brentford for a couple of days now, you know, back and forth. So pretty clear that we're close to getting the guy. You can never say anything's done. It's getting there. Nothing's done ever until he's there, stood next to Ruben holding the shirt. Nothing's ever done until that moment. Okay, players can fail medicals, whatever, you know, nothing's ever done until that moment. Remember when we tried to sign Ruud van Nistelrooy the first time around? Some of you whippersnappers who are young might not remember this, but some of you old heads will remember that we tried to sign Ruud van Nistelrooy once, and then I think he failed his medical, and we couldn't complete the deal, and then we had to go in for him like the next season or at the end of the season or whatever, and then we got him, and then the rest is history. But even that can happen. You know, nothing's guaranteed until you get a player through the door and they're there next to the manager. So again, not too worried about Mbeumo. It's just taken a little bit of time here to get it done, but not the big concern that everybody seems to be making it out. I see lots of people really worried about him going to Spurs. Guys, chill. It's Tottenham. It's Tottenham, guys. Chill. I don't get the appeal. You know, I don't get the appeal with Tottenham. Oh, London-based, is it? Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, what's that? Champions League football, is it? Yeah. They finished 17th with 22 losses and only got Champions League by default, basically. Beating teams like Bodo Glimt and the shittest Manchester United side ever with a lucky fluke fake goal. With a phantom goal. With a freaking phantom goal, these spuds. You know what I mean? That's all they did. So, from an outsider looking in, would you want to go and play for Spuds even with Thomas Frank as a new manager? There's a certain level of, well, what's the word? Uncertainty. Certain level of uncertainty with what could happen at Spurs this season. Yes, new manager coming in, new approach. He does seem a good coach. He has done well at Brentford. But they could still do shite. There's no guarantees they're going to do well. Right? So, and from their point of view, they don't spend. So I don't know where this worry's coming from, really, guys. If it was Arsenal right now, if it was Newcastle, I'd be a little bit maybe concerned. But Spurs are Spurs, guys. Spurs are Spurs. And you know what we heard previously is that Newcastle and Arsenal Reportedly, earlier on, a few days ago in the window, we were talking about the fact that they were reportedly interested in Bryan Mbeumo, and Bryan Mbeumo chose Manchester United. So he had offers, essentially, from other football clubs that we've just mentioned there, and he still chose Manchester United. So why, in all that is good and holy, would he not prefer to play for one of those teams than Gastastic Spurs? Makes no sense. He obviously wants to come and join Manchester United, guys. It's blatant. It's a blatant clue. There's a blatant clue here that he wants to join Manchester United, right? So, Spurs are Spurs. I'm not worried about that, guys. That's not going to happen, is it? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, that's it. And then a week after Ruud Foden's medical, he broke down in PSV training. That's it. And then he had a big injury. That's right, Gavs. That's right. Yeah, well, there's a reason he failed his medical, I guess. That's right. And then he was injured for a good while. Absolutely. Don't say phantom goal on the stats. Okay, it doesn't say phantom goal, but we know it was a shit goal. They won by default there, you know. Come on, that's got to be the worst way to win a Europa League final ever, with some shit lucky goal. Some shit Luke Shaw off the belly OG, Frey Bentos extraordinaire finish. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, UK strains. Hated, adored, never ignored. Come on. He might follow Frank. Might is the word, really. Maybe. Unlikely, but might. It's Tottenham. Tottenham beat PSG. Because a journalist said so and Mbeumo hasn't said anything. I mean, who knows what he thinks. At Minius, well, I mean, obviously we've got the reports from, the biggest journalists, the likes of Fabrizio Romano, Ornstein, these guys. Nobody can be right all the time, but ultimately these guys have got the contacts and are in contact with people like the players' agents and key people within the backroom staff in teams and stuff like that. You know, they obviously have got a lot of contacts, and if they're saying something, I mean, we can only go on that. You're right to say that who really knows what he thinks, because you're not inside Bryan Mbeumo's head, and neither am I. And if you were, it would be a bit concerning. But in regards to Bryan Mbeumo, yeah, you're right. I mean, you don't know what these people are saying, but I believe that the situation as it is right now that is being discussed is as it is. That's my personal belief on this one. You know, I don't really smell a rat too much in terms of this being bullshit. You know, and Mbeumo, reports are he's agreed at personal terms with Manchester United. You know we had a first offer rejected by Brentford. We know we've been trying to negotiate the second offer with them for a while. Obviously already submitted a second offer, but in regards to the actual final fee, essentially, for the deal and the structure of the deal, you know, still that's what they're working on. So we know that. So, I mean, obviously you've got to say, yes, mate. Yes, mate, you got the reference, J-Mo, come on. Dude, you know United have been playing like a bunch of twonks this season, lad. You got the reference, J-Mo. Get in there, you legend. Fucking yes. Love you, mate. Like in the eye, like in the dot in the eye of Rimmer's swimming certificate. Well, that's the clue, isn't it? Rimmer having a swimming certificate and not being able to swim. Come on, that's the best. Anyway, thank you so much, mate. We need to start rafting off Onana and Sancho Rashford 5 minute a ticket. Oh my God. Anyway, so look, Thomas Frank, not in for them at the moment. Spurs not in for them at the moment. As far as I'm concerned, this situation is correct, where Manchester United are the only club that are in for Bryan Mbeumo. There is seemingly a delay. It's down to getting a finalisation of the structure, the instalments, whatever, the bonuses, all of that stuff finalised, which should happen in the next hours, if not days at the very most. But obviously we know that the window, the early part of the window, closes at 7 p.m. BST tomorrow. But that doesn't really mean anything, does it, guys? It means nothing. Okay, it can't be processed by the Football League, right? But the window reopens again in the bloody week. So you've got literally like in another week's time, it'll be finished then. If you can't get it wrapped up and agreed and finished and signed and sent and delivered and packaged and all that shit, then it will be done in a week, won't it? Still, I guess, somebody else could come in and pinch him, so we don't want that. We want to get this done by tomorrow at 7. And I believe it will be. That's just my belief. You never know, but I've got a gut feeling I think it will be done by 7 p.m. tomorrow, which is the end of the transfer window before it has a little break and then, is open again in a week's time. So, guys, get your predictions in, yes or no. Do Manchester United at least is there an announcement, I should say, that Manchester United have finalised, agreed a deal with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo before 7 o'clock tomorrow? Get your gut feelings in there, guys. Yes or no? Have your say. Have your say in the live chat. Let us know what you think. And always, as always, guys, keep hitting the thumbs up. So if you're joining, it helps the stream. Hit the likes. Get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're new to the channel, we're on here daily and nightly with all the Man United transfer news and goings on. We cover all the latest news of the day in and around lunchtime, as well as the evening news around about sort of 10 p.m. So get yourself involved. Click the subscribe. Click the bell icon and have your say. Legends, get in there, OP Dragon lad. You love that rival fans can't stop talking about United. They are worried. 100%, 100%. Well, you just wait and see. Timo Shaft is going to get it over the line, lad. Madhouse says no. And Mbeumo or Cherky. Tough one, mate. For me and Mbeumo, because of the Premier League proven experience. I know Cherky is a baller, but I do like the Premier League stats of Mbeumo, mate. Hell no, says Gattuso. Yes, so, yes, hope so, yes. Yep, 12 position teams be sweating. No, yes. Interesting. Oh, definitely, Jamie, definitely. But I suppose they can't really say too much until it is sort of on its way to being done. Yes, says Susan. Yes, says Frank. Yes, says PJ. Hell no, says Madhouse. He's coming home, says UK Strains. Doubt it will be flustered with Gyökeres. Yeah, I saw that report at Milius. That was via Sky Sports, wasn't it? I don't think that's particularly that reliable, lad. You know, that report that you said, you know, we've got other sources that suggest that they obviously have done that. Lots of other sources saying there was a second bid sent days ago. I mean, obviously, you take a more pessimistic stance in regards to these transfers, and that's probably sensible, lad. But I think there's obviously been discussions going on there in regards to trying to get this deal done. I mean, they call it slow sports news for a reason, pal. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they've only just got the news that second bid's gone in, but they call it slow sports news for a reason, pal. He's going to have to, Steve Barrero, lad. Yeah, I know. Timo Shaft has got to do one. I'm probably going to do one in the morning, actually. So, or to be released in the morning. So it's been a while since that one. I try to get one out a week or something. Going to have to do a Gyökeres one too. But yeah, I'll get on that, lad. I'll get on that. Make sure you keep a lookout tomorrow morning for a cheeky little Timo Shaft video. Let's go, Jamie. What's my CD code? Pins. If you go to my gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming, and click on my latest live stream, it'll be in the description of that video, lad. Yeah. Nice one, Gareth's highlights. How you getting on, you legend? Gyökeres end of the month. Sky is shite. Sky is pretty shite. Yep, it is pretty shite. What do you think, Pig? Is he coming tomorrow? I think so, yes. But I only think. I don't know. You know, I think that he's coming tomorrow. It makes all the sense in the world. Personal terms agreed. Wants to come. We're the only club properly in for him. So, yes, I think it will be done by tomorrow, 7. We will get it agreed and done. But, again, you never know. You never know. There could be some stuff to iron out. Brentford could be playing the city buggers in regards to trying to get their price tag that they want. They wanted apparently 70 million. It's a bit much, especially when we need to strengthen elsewhere, get a goalkeeper, get Gyökeres. Like, we are in negotiations to finalise the structure. That's how it is. It's finalisation time. It's not that the deal's not close to being done. It is close to being done. They're just thrashing out a few finer details behind the scenes, it seems. Let me just have a look at the latest updates from some of the journos. Negotiations still underway for Mike Mynan. Club to club, Chelsea in on it. Yeah, fair enough. Nothing in regards to United then. Nice. Well, not nice. We wanted Mbeumo, but, you know, not nice. Your recruitment team has been doing great job since past few windows. Really appreciate that, says Susan. Well, maybe a bit better, Susan. I mean, if you actually think about the last couple of windows, yeah, I suppose the last window was better. We got Aiden Heaven, we got Dorgu, but they still allowed Rashford and Anthony to go out on loan and didn't even replace players with sort of forward players in that position for more goals. So that's pretty gash. Oh, shit, yes, Gav's highlights. Sorry, mate, I need to message you about that. I did, yeah, me and Mrs. P watched it earlier, lad, yeah. I'm going to message you about that. Sorry, lad. Get in there, Gav Star, I appreciate you. But yeah, I just need to edit something out of it, that's all, that she's not happy with, but there you go. Thank you, Gav Star. 16 XR, crazy how we're going. Bust by Christmas, now we're getting Gyökeres, Cunha and Mbeumo. Spot on, yeah, well, you know, lots of money's obviously coming into the club over this sort of couple of next months with player outgoings, and then also, you know, TV money, all that sort of stuff. You know, Manchester United generally likes to try and use this time in the break to also negotiate sponsorship guff like that, deals, or you never know, all this guff behind the scenes. But then obviously you get 100 million at the start of the new season, don't you, for the TV rights and stuff, TV rights deal, etc. So there's obviously money still coming into the club. Plus, if we do get rid of most of the guff players that we need to get rid of, the Højlunds of this world, the Onanas, the Antonys of this world, the Rashfords, the Garnachos, whoever, that's a lot of money generated, and it's almost like we haven't even spent anything then. We went through it the other day. We did a little tally. In fact, I've got it still written down here. Look at my shocking writing there. We did look at that shocking writing. And for some reason, I've written Hong Kong Fooey down as well. I don't know why. Somebody must have said it in the chat when I was live or something, and I wrote that down for some reason. But anyway, 35 Højlund. Anyway, I'm not going through it, but the point is, it comes to at least 200 million if you sell all those guff players that we just mentioned. At least 200 million. So you can easily get most of these transfers covered by selling guff players. And remember, some of these guff players are going to be on a lot more money weekly, salary-wise, in terms of what they're getting paid and taken out of United than all of the players that we're going to potentially sign, even Gyökeres. Do you think Gyökeres is going to be paid as much as Rashford? No chance. Rashford's on 350k a week, lad. We're trying to get away from this bullshit structure guff. So Sancho's another one. He's on 300,000 a week. It's unlikely that any of our signings are going to get paid close to what Sancho's paid. So as long as you can move Sancho on, maybe Saudi club or whoever, then you're saving a lot of money every single week as well, which means that you can justify signing one or two more players. So that's the way I'm looking at it, lad. Good evening there, Jeff. What's going on there, Jeffster? No, she just doesn't want her face on it, really, Gav. That's all it is, mate. You know, she's like Wilson from Home Improvements, mate. Do you know what I mean? She just likes to stay anonymous, lad. Yeah. Does this new contract for Heaton mean we're not going for a goalkeeper? Okay, so we're working on the contract for Heaton. Yeah, obviously, just on that, actually, very quickly, mate. Can we just get some applause and love in there for these guys? More so Johnny Evans and Christian Eriksen, to be honest. Lindelof's always been a wind-up merchant for me. But, yeah, no, we've had worse players, but he's certainly not going to go down as a legend for us or anything. But he has been a part of the club that's won some trophies, so respect to Victor Lindelof as well. But official, obviously, Christian Eriksen, Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof leave Man United as free agents. Thank you very much for your service. And there were some good memories in there, particularly with Johnny Evans in his first spell at the football club, obviously still winning things back then. Christian Eriksen's got some great memories for me with Christian Eriksen, and even Lindelof, you know, winning certain trophies with him in the team and in the squad. It could have been worse. So thank you for your service, guys. Now see you later on. Now these guys are good players for us, and you know, respect. But the reason I'm saying that is because obviously, yes, Heaton's another one that we could expect maybe to go, but ultimately, we probably need him as a backup. I don't really think it means that, actually. You know, Disco Dave. I think it more makes sense that means that Onana's going, because we've got Bender, we've got Heaton. If Heaton's getting his contract extended, I think it actually makes more sense that Onana's going. Because surely Amorim's looking at Onana and saying that is not who I want to tend my goal. You know, maybe tend my garden, but not tend my goal. He's not got the shot-stopping capabilities, etc. He can see that. I mean, if he's happy with Andre Onana going into the rest of the next season, then, you know, that's a big red flag, isn't it? That's a massive red flag on Amorim. So I'm almost convinced, I'm almost sure that we will be signing another goalkeeper this summer. I'm not sure if we can sell Onana because he's not the most saleable of players, but I'm almost sure that we will absolutely try. You know, so there you go. Yeah. Sid says, I don't see Onana being sold because no team wants to buy him. Maybe. There's other teams, though, that could be still after a bit of Andre Onana action. We've talked about teams in Serie A. He was good in Serie A. Yeah, relax, we're going to get Mbeumo and Gyökeres, just offload Rashi, Sancho, etc. and please let Shaw go. A free transfer to Luke Shaw would be interesting, mate. That would show serious intent. Can't sell him, so you might as well sack him off. But we can't do that, mate. You might as well get him to be the water boy lad for 3 years, because he's got a 3-year contract, and you have to obviously terminate the contract and pay him out for the remainder. So we'd be paying him millions just to not play for us. It doesn't make sense. It actually makes more sense just to have him as a glorified water boy and play a backup role if and when we need him, you know? Get in there, Diesel Chapo. Yep, you say there's the door. Don't let the door hit you when the good Lord split you. Onana contract rundown will be his retirement. Not even Saudi wants him. Oh, come on, Susan. Surely there's a Saudi team out there that wants him. You're doing Onana dirty there. A couple of years ago, he was in the Champions League final. By the way, guys, we're nearly at 200 likes on the stream. Thank you, everyone who's reposted us as well on X. Keep reposting. Keep smashing that like. Keep hitting the sub up, all that jazz. But, yes, let's just go over, actually, on X and shout out the few legends that have given us a repost here. I appreciate it, guys. We've had 10 reposts. Thank you, Ashley Vote. Get in there, my son. Thank you very much to Francois Koch, Kieran, Elliot Manduna, Hannah, Johnny M, United Flying High, Devils Are Red, The Goat, Richard Wisterpeck, and Aaron Homeyard. Thank you, legends, very much indeed there for sharing it around. I appreciate that. Send him back to Inter, says Fire Knight. Yeah, maybe they could be interested in having him. Like we said, he was good for them. Viktor Gyokeres will fit in. I mean, it's not the worst deal in the world for them, is it? Let's say Inter sold him for 50 million, right? They signed Jan Sommer for 6 million. He's had a good season for them, but he's getting on. He's 36. And then what they do is they just quite simply bring in back Andre Onana back for half price or even 20 million. And maybe they have to pay him a few more wages in terms of wages, but ultimately it's a pretty sensible deal for them. It's just whether or not Andre would be happy about it. And he seemed to enjoy his football more over there, didn't he? And Mbeumo would be amazing for us. He's absolutely brilliant. Exactly what we need. Good shout there. Eyes wide open, you legend. Yes, what's the situation with Malacia? Completely forgot about him. Yeah, I think he's out of sorts, lad. I think there'll be a loan move on the horizon or him just being sold. Erik ten Hag, what have you done? Or even just free transferred, who knows? But he's likely to be sold, perhaps to, you know, PSV or one of these Dutch teams. Obviously, he was on loan at PSV, wasn't he? He only played 8 times. I don't know how well he got on over there. He only played 8 games for them, but I think he was on loan there. Maybe they'd be interested in him. Who knows? Onana's a Prem legend. That's right, yeah. Oh, thank you, Gav's Highlights. I appreciate you, Absolute Don. Thank you so much, mate. You're a hero. I mean, I can do that bit, to be fair, if you want there, Gavster. It's no dramas, lad, you know, in terms of taking that bit out. Nice one, nice one. Give Shaw to whoever signs Sancho. Buy one, get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. For every Andre Onana you buy, you get a Jadon Sancho absolutely free. Good shout. Bruno has been really confused United's transfer window. Yes and no. People seem unhappy about Bruno staying. I don't get it. He's a class act. He's a good player. He's a great player, one of our best players. I'm not unhappy about him staying. Good shout, Disco Dave. Oh, if only. If only, if only. How you doing there, Griffin? I hope you're doing well, lad. Tom Porter getting in there raw as well. Thank you, Gavstar. I appreciate you, though. Thanks so much for putting that together. You are a hero. Shaw is more injured than all the patients in the hospital. Let him go. Right, I'm just going to do a rundown of what we've discussed very quickly on this stream, guys, for anybody who's just getting in here. Then we'll have a cheeky little Q&A for a bit. And then we'll get raw into the chat here as well. We just smashed 200 likes as well. Thank you, everybody. Right, let's have a little look. And we're waiting for Mbeumo news, guys, but it's probably going to be tomorrow now, unfortunately. You know, and if it's not, well, the doubts will start to creep in. They certainly will. But at the moment, no updates live during the show in regards to Mbeumo. So does look like probably tomorrow is going to be the likeliest time. Yes, get in there, Bang Bang Pack. You did. Absolutely. Great win that for Portugal. Having Edison in the pivot would be much better than Bruno. You what? Bruno saved us from relatives, basically. Oh yeah, the in-laws, mate. The in-laws, lad. You know what I mean? The old mother-in-law. I'm joking, Frank. Bruno saved us from relatives. I know what you mean. From relegation, yeah. I don't know, Gazwads, I might have done, mate. Did you miss my comment on time about teams maybe not selling now and waiting for the next PSR window? Yes, I didn't see that. I did miss it, but somebody else mentioned that we might be waiting until the next fiscal year sometime in July for when that actually updates, and then you can put it in. So that is a possibility, I suppose. Good call, lad. Shaw's favourite position's hospital bed. Yes, Luke Shaw's hospital patient blighted by football. Not really, Gaz. No, doesn't worry me too much, mate. I mean, we can get agreements in place, even if it's going to actually be officially done later, can't you? I'm not too worried about it. Don't you think the Frank deal will slow down the Mbeumo deal? Not myself, Thornton. No, I don't want to bore people with why, but if you want to understand why, then you can go back and watch the start of the video again, because I've already covered it extensively. But what it really boils down to is just the fact that at the moment, there's only one offer on the table for Mbeumo. That's from Manchester United. There are no clubs actually in talks with Brentford for signing him. We know that. So because of that, I don't think it's going to be scuppered. If we hear about a bid coming in, yeah, okay, it's problematic. Thomas Frank could be a draw for him to go and play for him again. So we talked about it's a possibility, but it's a very small possibility. For a start, Spurs aren't going to pay him as much. Anyway, I'm repeating myself now. So just check out the start of the video there, lad. And I went into it in depth. Mad FX, thank you so much for the £5 super chat there, you legend. He says, on the subject of transfers, when are you going to transfer your bacon to the gaming channel, lad? Seems a bit neglected of late. Mad effects. Good shout, lad. Good shout. So I intend to stream tomorrow night on Tuesday, which is the... Actually, no, I don't. I've just realised England are on tomorrow, aren't they? So I'm not doing that because I'm doing an England game, watch along, and then straight after that will be transfer news and stuff. Straight after, so yeah, I won't actually be able to do it. Do you know what the reality is, Mad Effects, lad? I want to try and keep up with it on there, but there's just too much going on. I need to be around for transfer news. I'm trying to grow this main channel, trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Ultimately, I love doing the gaming streams, but there's not that much time at the moment for me to do it. And by the evening time, after I've done 3 long streams or whatever throughout the day and chalked a lot of waffle, it's a bit mentally draining by late night. Usually I stream from 10:45 p.m. to 2 a.m. I could miss important news in the morning. It's just not ideal, mate. It's really not ideal. So although I really want to try and keep the game and stuff up, there will be less of it over the next few weeks. Facts. But there will still be some, mate. There will still be some. So, but I understand the frustrations, but please be patient with me there. We'll be stepping up a red alert if we get more info on Gyökeres. I don't know, JMO. That does mean changing the bulb. Too funny says, so I'm a proper dwarfer, lad. Sell, Sancho, Garnacho, Rashi, Anthony. Not as much as the darts channel. What darts channel? Yes. Oh, right. Yes, true a little bit. I see what you mean. Yes, well, it could happen. I'm not concerned about it, but I know what you mean. England getting hammered tomorrow. Do you reckon? We were pretty shite against Andorra, lad, and Senegal's a much better team, much more dangerous, much more, strong, physical. Going to be a difficult one, that. Oh, I saw that there, Matthew Smith, earlier on. Yeah, I did see the Semenyo link. We've got a little bit of info about the Semenyo stuff here. I'll pop it up on screen. Again, I think it's quite speculative stuff there. I don't really... Honestly, I know obviously Fab works for Sky Italy or whatever, and there's some good journos work for Sky, but honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to Sky, I'll be honest. But anyway, this is what was said here in regards to Semenyo. So despite recent reports, Man United, this is from Marco Alcaraz actually, who's basically debunking it. He says, despite recent reports, Man United are not actively pursuing a move for Antoine Semenyo at this time. Following the completion of Mbeumo's deal, their focus will shift to outgoings plus reinforcing other key positions, including striker, central midfield and goalkeeper, which just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Why would you be interested in Semenyo right now if you're still trying to get Mbeumo and obviously Cunha's in? You need to get Gyökeres, so yeah. You really want Mendes and Diogo Costa. Mendes would be a fantastic addition. What a performance he put in the other night. Great player he'd be great. Him ahead of Dorgu, obviously. Dorgu playing second fiddle, that would be great. But it's not going to happen, I don't think. Unrealistic. It's tough for us to get those players right now. They've just won the Champions League and stuff. I don't see why they would come to us. Same goes for Donnarumma. 15 years ago we'd signed Donnarumma right now. But I can't imagine he's going to want to come to us personally. Jeff says United really can't afford to have injured players and come back and still get injured again for pay off 200 a week. No, that's true, lad. That's it. You've got to try and get robust players, which is why I like the idea of more players like Bryan Mbeumo, who played 38 games in the Premier League. We've got Bruno Fernandes, Slabby's quite robust, and we've got a team that's filled with injury-prone players, though. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's important to get some good players in. Get in there, William Reedy. Oh, Simon, I hope you had a good night at the pub, though, lad. 16 XRs. Guy's useless, to be honest. Oh, really? Talking to your Dutch, and I found myself walking it the other day while I was cooking tea. Loved it, lad. Watching it, right? Watching it, right? Oh, yeah. Nice one, bro. Thank you very much. Has England won the Nations League? Nah, mate. No, we haven't. We've only won the World Cup in 1966. That's it. We've never even won the Euros. We're gash, lad. We're gash, lad. England would win. Ireland got a draw against them and a lot of amateurs. Fair play, lad. Not really whether you like Bruno or not, not as much as where does he fit. Cam on number 8. Should United now not go for Mbeumo as Bruno is staying, or should United go for a number 8 as Bruno will do? Personally, think Bruno's going to be playing that deeper role in the 8, personally. I don't think he is going to be playing the 10, but sometimes he will, obviously. But if you're talking about choosing our strongest team, if Mbeumo and Cunha are there, but we've got to have Mbeumo and Cunha at the 10s and Bruno in behind, don't we? So I think that's what's going to happen more often than not. And Bruno can do that. We've seen him play that deeper role, bit of a playmaker for us. Yeah, now get Maguire and Co out. Maguire can stay for me. I like him. I like him again now. But, mostly as a squad player, I still think we need to bring in another centre-back at some point. Slow Sports News. Yeah, true. Thorns to their skies to be careful what they announce. They're close to all the Premier Leagues. That's why they're so slow. Boys from the Dwarf. Mendes would be 80 million, to be honest. Yeah, he'd cost a lot, and it's unlikely he'd even join us right now because of the situation there. Get exactly there, Robert Hewer. Get sure on that, lad. Our strikers last season had worse aim than a pig farting darts blindfolded. Grab Gyökeres ASP. So true, so true. That's it. Get that done. It's a big weight off if we could. You're enjoying a pizza with this stream. Lovely, lovely. He was. Yamal was found in Nuno Mendes' luggage in Lisbon Airport. Oh, Donnarumma. Oh, yeah, nice. It's a tasty name, lad. If you could get one player in his prime out of all of the history to play for Man United right now, what would you do? For me, it would always be prime CR7. Great shout. I mean, that's a great answer because he would just win you games on his own. He was so good. Ballon d'Or winning Cristiano at Man United was epic, wasn't he? For me, it wouldn't actually be him. It would probably be Schmeichel. Yeah, Schmeichel. Honestly. I think, that he was such a beast for a Schmeichel, man. He's so underrated in the history of Man United. I mean, he's not. We all know what a legend he was. But fuck me, what a solid, unbelievable goalkeeper he was. And actually, if you're talking about an outfield player, it would probably be between Scholes and Rooney for me, and maybe Ruud van Nistelrooy getting in there as well, because he was the ultimate finisher. And if what you need is goals, get Ruud up there. But Scholesy, he's the ultimate midfield metronome, mate. Ticking things over. You would be absolutely sorted with Scholesy in your midfield right now. He's just passing for days, lad, controlling games, beautiful. He is such a baller. And then Rooney was so great for the team as well. What a hard worker, could do a bit of everything, unbelievable goal record, etc. So one of those 4 players, it's hard to choose, but Schmeichel would actually be amazing because he was such a baller. Rooney, 10 years odd at the club, such a hard worker, really, really great record. And Scholesy was just an absolute genius as well, wasn't he, to be fair? And Ruud van Nistelrooy, one of the greatest finishers of all time. His record was ridiculous. Mate, Gaz Wad says, good night, lad. Work in the morning and post is not going to post itself. Hey, Gaz, enjoy, mate. Thank you so much for getting in till so late, though. Have a great night there, Gaz. Yeah, posters have to get up early, don't they, lad? Gaz, you have a great night. Thank you for watching, bro. Appreciate you. Eric Cantona is a great shout, Solskjaer. Yes, he is a fantastic shout. Absolutely, yeah. Absolute catalyst. Scholesy all day. Prime Keane's a great shout. Rooney is a great shout. Keane. Keane is a great shout. For this team right now, Keano's a great shout, definitely. Surely his professionalism, he sort everyone out and kick everyone into touch. Van der Sar for you. Eric Cantona. Need Roy Keane more than ever. CR7 equal to Van der Sar. I'm just thinking about what we need right now. Obviously we wouldn't say no to a Keano or a Scholesy in midfield. But I'm just thinking about what we need right now. I think the most areas we do need to look at is the striker and the goalkeeper. So that's why I was saying them. Naughty Giggs. Well, Giggs in this system, probably not the best, actually, Meyer. Even though I love Giggs, where's he going to play? He's not going to really play the 10. And I don't really see him playing a left wing-back role in this sort of system under Amorim. That's the only reason no Giggs. If we were playing a 4-4-2, Giggs would be definitely one of the first players to think of. Ruud van Nistelrooy, yeah. Hello there, Nelson. What's going on? Spurs scummer. We won't hold that against you. What's going on there, my son? I hope you're well. Can we get Angus from Yorkshire Auction House to visit Onana? Looks like City won't get punished judging by the players they're signing. Sickening, isn't it? Or maybe they're just keeping up false pretenses until it finally does all come falling down on them, lad. Yeah, we are playing 1 game a week next season. Thin the squad. Good call. We have the luxury where we don't need as bigger a squad. That's true. Rooney always live it. Rooney was fantastic. Oh yes, rest in peace to Uriah Rene, one of the legendary referees. Get some love hearts in there for Uriah Rene. Sad to hear that, lad. Yeah. You were so worried you're going to say Messi because he's not the goal. Ronaldo is CR7 forever. I'm all about that CR7 life myself. For this team right now, prime Kaka. Oh, we're talking about any players from any team, any era. I thought we were just talking about Man United players. Prime Kaka is interesting. That could be good. But again, still going to cause some issues, isn't it? But he did win the Ballon d'Or, Kaka. He was a beast. It's going to cause issues still with our shit defence and goalkeeper and striker. We need a miracle. You'll stick with Gyökeres for now. Vidic, you would have to be rude. Carrick would suit Amorim's system. Oh, yeah. Keno would be immense as well, I believe. Like, just he was a machine. Luke Chadwick. Solskjaer's ROP, absolutely. It was Uriah Rene, the legendary goalkeeper. And Mbeumo not in the bag yet. Jeffrey expected that it'd probably be by tomorrow at 7 p.m. BST, but who knows? It could drag on. I'm hopeful myself. I mean, I figured it would probably be today. I figured it would probably be yesterday, and it hasn't been. But the window shuts temporarily, at least, at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So feasibly, it could be done by then. Nothing's wrong with that, Victor. I know nothing's wrong with that. I agree. Should be something that we're working on as well. I like the Jonathan David link, man. R9, yeah, bit injury prone, but yes, great shout. Prime Zidane is a great shout. Gary Neville. Okay. Out of all the players, you say Gary Neville, but I respect that. Trailblazing ref, absolutely. Figo, maybe. Again, Figo, more of a sort of winger, wasn't he? Of course, he could do the job as a 10, Figo, but I'm just thinking about, like, 10s and 6ers and strikers and goalkeepers, sort of more so what we need. Irwin would actually be great. Yeah, Irwin would be baller. Prime McTominay. Anyway, guys, there we go. I'm just going to have a quick look one more time, see if there's any more, news from anything breaking here. Let me just take a little look-see and see if there is anything going on here, from any major journos or anything like that. Let's take a little look. New post notifications. Fabrizio just says Marcus Bettinelli leaves Chelsea and joins City as a new third goalkeeper. That's all. Bournemouth have agreed to sign Adrian Truffert as a new left-back. Here we go. Bournemouth doing a bit of business there. Chelsea still working on Mainan. That sounded wrong, didn't it? Chelsea still working on Mainan? Yeah, no, Mike Mainan, the goalkeeper. Chelsea still working on Mike Mainan. Understand Marcus Bettinelli's move to City has now been agreed. This is via Ben Jacobs. Fab said an hour ago, Saudi Pro League clubs approached Benjamin Sesko in recent hours with important proposals. So let's hope that doesn't turn his head, because that would be gash. If Arsenal lost out on Sesko, it's likely that they're obviously going to, to turn their attentions maybe to Gyökeres. Maldini, Decker, Ronaldinho, Danny Drinkwater, Pirlo, Edgar Davids. I mean, all of these players would be great. Seedorf was unreal, wasn't he? What a baller. Fat Ronaldo, yeah, good shout. Anyway, right, guys, that's going to be the end of the stream tonight, folks, because there's nothing coming out here. I don't think tonight. Maybe there will be shortly. You never know. But it's 11:06, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be any announcements tonight. I know, Duderino, it is frustrating, isn't it? It is frustrating. We just got to hope, fingers crossed, tomorrow's the day for Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United. That's my fervent hope. That's right. I don't think I've ever used the word fervent on here before. But that is my fervent hope there. That we sign Bryan Mbeumo tomorrow. And it could happen. I guess we wouldn't be surprised if it turns out it's been delayed. We've explained the reasons for the delay, being essentially mostly down to the fact that they've got to work out the finalisations of the deal and the structure and all that sort of stuff, and they're close, but it hasn't been done yet. So, bit frustrating, but don't worry too much, guys. I don't think Thomas Frank and Spurs is going to chuck a spanner in the works. It's more likely that the deal goes ahead as planned with Manchester United, way more likely. Nice one, 16. Nice one, Simon. Nice one, Duderino. Mark Coughlin. Craig at Milius. Thank you so much. Max Arentz. Bang Bang. Duderino. Kevtech. Jamie. Simon. And everybody who's got in here. Mdor. Yes, legends. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can come back after this video, get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. As always, we'll be on here multiple times tomorrow, hopefully with some great news. And like I say, the window does shut at 7 p.m. BST, so we'll more than likely do a cheeky little, hour, 90-minute cheeky little rundown show before the window actually shuts there as well around that time. So probably before the England game. Pretty sure the England game's on at 8, is it? Let me just double check that. It might be 5. Could be 5, couldn't it, I guess? Nah, it's midweek, so it'll probably be 8 p.m. Let me just double check this. So tomorrow, England are playing at 7:45, yeah. So that's fine. We'll do a cheeky little rundown show from like 6 till 7 p.m. So we'll do a lunchtime show as usual. We'll do a cheeky little 6 to 7 p.m. show. And then we'll do the England watch along. And then we'll probably do a cheeky 10:30 p.m. show as well. So lots of action tomorrow on the channel, guys. Come and join us. Come and join us. Nice one. Thank you, Disco Dave, Susan, Dave, William, Miz. Not tonight, William. Unfortunately, not too much going on, lad. I haven't had any sleep either in regards to, like, you know, it's too late. It's going to be too late. I'll never get up tomorrow if I just stay on until 2 playing FIFA, unfortunately. Tom Porter, Amaya, Bang Bang, Simon, William, Miz, and everybody else as well. Legend. Stephen Shipman, get in there, you Don. Right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one, everyone. Appreciate all of you. Hit the likes before you go. Hit the subscribe if you're new. Click the bell icon for notifications. And you can follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, all those places at Flying Pig United. Links are in the description down there, in the description. And I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching. Nice one, legends. Piggy loves you. Shout out to the greatest community in all of YouTube, the Hamada, the Bacon Brigade, the Sausage Soldiers, the Pork Platoon. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.